All right, welcome to another episode of World by Night Vampire Edition. This is another side session involving Roderick. For those who've been paying attention, there's been quite a few of those lately. But that's because, well, we're evil, sadistic bastards and love to start shit. We start on the evening after the last main session. This will confuse some of you people because in 2 days we'll go back and do the whole next session. But, anyways, you'll get it. Roderick, you wake up.
I am going to, first thing I have to do, reach out. I've been meeting with a gentleman a couple times by the name of Charles Harrington, who is a doomsday prepper. I'm going to reach out to him. I have some new information that he probably is going to want to be aware of. Might change how he's preparing and planning and what that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something that seems reasonably well-founded information.
Okay.
And see if he has time to meet.
Uh, yes, he actually does have time to meet. When it comes to information like that, he's definitely willing to meet as soon as possible because he needs to know what changes he may need to make.
All right, I'll make arrangements to meet with him. I'll suggest we meet at like a coffee shop, someplace where we can dine and go over documents and not look suspicious.
Okay.
Then I will reach out to Arthur Thompson, the neurosurgeon I've been dealing with on cybernetics.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him I've got some stuff I want him to look at, as well as some pieces I want to start assembling and I need his assistance with. Specifically, I'm looking at things that are going to enhance my perception, alertness, that sort of thing, improve reaction times.
Okay. Let's see. He says he can meet with you later on in the night. He's a little busy right this moment, but if you give him a time, he'll try and work something out.
I'll ask you if 10 o'clock works or if he would prefer to meet later. I know he has to work in the morning, though, so I didn't want to make it too late.
He tells you, how about 11:30? You pick a place.
Certainly. I'll tell him I have a workshop and we can just meet there.
Okay.
And I'll give him the address for a secondary haven of mine that's basically equipped for projects.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then I will head out to meet Charles.
Well, as you walk in the coffee shop, you see him sitting there. He's, having a coffee. He's just kind of looking around. He kind of, acknowledges you, raising his cup.
I will I've got basically a stack of documents, and basically what it entails is what the world of darkness really is. But I've got it's prefaced with a couple of pages talking about organizations that are manipulating the economy and the politics and stuff for their own betterment, and that they seek to basically manipulate people into being willing slaves, and preparing yourself if you want to be outside of that if you're going to be outside of their awareness and outside of their structured society, what that might require, because it'll essentially cut you off from civilization if you step too far outside of it. So I'll start off with the first couple pages, which are more of vague, not quite as detailed stuff. It doesn't name specific groups. It doesn't talk about the supernatural so much. It's just talking about these puppet governments and that sort of thing. But I'll cite specific political shifts, and I'll talk about the recent influx with where they brought in these military groups and were going to a curfew and all that stuff, and then how quickly it reversed. And I'll point to that as an example of them using their influence and manipulation to give themselves a private army, basically, a domestic private army. And
Yeah, he agrees with you. He's like, I knew there was something fishy about that. It seemed so strange that they just, up and changed their mind so quickly. I've never seen the government move that quick.
Well, I've got quite a bit more we can go through, but we probably should get something to eat so we don't look so suspicious. I suspect more and more that, especially for those of us who are preparing outside their system, that we're probably being watched. So
Yeah,
can I get you something to eat?
Sure, why not?
All right. I'll go up to the counter, order food for both of us.
Okay.
I'll order him a refill too. I don't know if he needs one yet or not, but if we're going to be there a while. And then I will put a point of my blood into his drink.
Okay.
And I'll go back, sit down. We both eat. Or pretend to eat. But the important part is we make the show of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, he's still human, so he can eat.
Right. Well, the biggest key is if, once he takes a drink, that's the third step to be bloodbound. And at that point, when I see him drink from that coffee I brought back, or that beverage I brought back, whatever he preferred, then I'll give him the rest of the documents that actually kind of spell out some of what the World of Darkness is. And I'll tell him, there's more to it than just this paperwork. I'll explain the rest one-on-one, but this is a good starting point so you understand. But you can't tell anyone. Obviously this is beyond just we need to be aware of it. We can't even tell. Those who don't already know can't be told unless we tell them under certain circumstances. You and I have met a couple times now where, I can share this information with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give him.
You see him just like staring at it, like wide-eyed and dumbfounded. The typical expression everybody gives when they first find out that the World of Darkness is real.
And it's a fairly detailed thing. So I'll tell him if he needs more time to go through that, he and I can meet in person when he's done with that, if he'd like.
He looks at it. Man, I couldn't even begin to imagine this. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more time. Can you give me a few days? I'll contact you and let you know once I've been able to pour over all this information.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. If you have questions, call me anytime.
Definitely. He goes, this changes a lot of how I was preparing. I was just preparing for a possible typical apocalypse. I was not preparing for this.
Well, that's the concern. This is literally apocalypse on multiple layers. There's possibilities that reverberate through multiple worlds. There's a lot more to it.
You seem just kind of flipping pages. You're still kind of got that
dumbfounded,
shocked, and confused look on his face.
I'll tell him I'll be happy to answer any questions. However, I'm not available during the day, and once he finishes reading that, he'll understand a little better.
All right. Well, I'll contact you in a couple nights' time. I'll let you know once I've gotten some time to really dive into this information. I mean, just from the bits I've been reading.
Well, and I have a lot more resources and tools I can offer you once you understand a little bit better, once you get what you're getting into. But it's not stuff I can put on the open market, because even those of us who are preparing aren't ready for all of it.
Understood. Okay. He just kind of sits and reads for a little bit, finishes up his meal. He goes, he grabs the stuff, he gets it all together. All right, thank you, Roderick. I'll definitely get a hold of you as soon as I'm done with all this. Holy cow.
Perfect. Well, again, I realize it's a lot to absorb. Believe me, I got hit with it somewhat the same way. So,
yeah, a lot is an understatement. All right. He takes his leave, still like dumbfounded. He's got all
I'm
these
gonna
people who's still half reading as he's getting to his car.
I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on him, make sure he gets into his car and that it doesn't look like anyone's following him.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Just because, number one, I know the potential attention I can attract, and if I'm meeting with someone unknown.
And
So
I'm just going to assume you're usually pretty careful about how you move. You don't do
yeah,
things too out of touch.
yeah. I mean, if I'm going to meet with him, I'm not going out in full scourge regalia. I'm going out in a dress shirt and trousers and maybe some combat boots at most.
All right, yeah. So he ends up leaving.
Right.
The good news is it took about the amount of time it will take you to get to your second location and meet the doctor.
Perfect. So I will meet Arthur Thompson at my workshop.
Okay.
I assume he's going to be there
Yes.
pretty close to my time. So I'll invite him in.
All right.
I'll tell him first and foremost, I've got another project I was working on, which might interest you, and I'll show him the power armor I've been building.
Interesting.
And I'll even show him the schematics that they're tagged with his company, the company he works for.
He's like, I knew this design looked somewhat familiar.
Well, they called for some other materials, and I made some personal modifications as well, but it's based off of a design from your company, although I imagine not one publicly marketed.
No, this has not hit the public market yet. This is all DOD. I'm impressed you got this information. I'm not going to ask how, nor do I care.
Well, chase the right circles, but it leads to my next point is that certainly that will help my durability, but there are times I run into some rather severe combat conflicts, and I need to have equipment in place to help boost my ability to perceive those threats, be alert to them, and to react. So that's kind of where I want to start with my
now,
cybernetics.
here's the real question. Okay. Did you actually want to do like a cybernetic eyeballs? Did you want to do just a cybernetic, like headset?
Well, I'm looking at.
Do you want it detachable? Or do you want it in there permanently?
I'm okay with permanent, but I'd like something that's perhaps maybe retractable. I was thinking like a retractable, almost sunglasses lenses that can, I can have them retract in or have them out, and even when they're out, they're still somewhat under the radar. Cybernetic eyeballs would be a little more noticeable, or retractable lens that's a black lens.
Well, here's the fun part. With the way cybernetics has been going, actually, there have been leaps and bounds that we could literally make a cybernetic eyeball that matches your exact eye color and everything. So it wouldn't really show up as anything different. People would not notice any change.
Okay.
The only notice that some people would have is you may have to miss a day or two of your normal work day.
Well, that's limited issue.
Yeah, that's just to make sure it heals properly and that there are no complications, so on and so forth.
I don't think healing will be a problem.
If you just wanted like sunglasses, we could definitely work something out. There are plenty of things in place. I mean, we've already, and these are on the open market for the right people. I mean, they're still quite expensive, but there are sunglasses that do basically the same effect that some of the more high-tech binoculars we have do. They're slightly limited. Again, it's mainly a money issue.
Well, and I'd like to take you a little bit more of a step farther with, threat assessment, a tie-in, maybe a tie-in to a cell signal so I can do some identification even.
Okay, well, that's not so hard.
Basically so I can tie directly into the networks that already exist and use it to get more information than perception would strictly offer. one thing to look at a guy, it's another to be able to pull up his financial records.
Okay.
So, and then again, looking at response time, I don't know if that would be a neural enhancement, improved eye-hand coordination, faster speed, that sort of thing.
With something like that, you're talking more that has to be, um, that will definitely have to be an implant.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, there's nothing that can really be done outside of that. For everything you're talking about, that would have to be done um, definitely in the body and a permanent thing. It would require a little more invasive surgery than probably what you're expecting. Mainly because for something like that, um, a lot of people don't realize our brains process a lot more information than we truly give it credit for. Um, Picture your brain basically like a computer. It's processing thousands and thousands of information. Yet, if you're only accessing, let's say, it's got 1,000 websites up and running, but you're only paying attention to one of them. Well, all the others are still there, but you're only focusing on that particular one. Um, and we've done numerous studies to prove this fact, that our brain has managed to imprint itself with more information than even some of the smartest people on the planet have been able to access at any given time.
Certainly. And again,
So
I'm not opposed to that. I recognize the need for it to get to that level of performance, so to speak.
but basically,
So,
what we would do, I I can see what I can do about working something out as kind of like a retractable, lack of a better term, contact lens. Um, so that way you're not constantly using it. Um, Basically, it would be tied into, in a sense, a chip in your brain, and that when you specifically focused on using that particular, you know, skill, or using that particular
right.
bit, it would focus in, and then it would open up that contact lens. We can make it something more. I mean, it could be a permanent eyeball. Like I said, there's been leaps and bounds with that, where not an issue on if you wanted it to look like your same eye color, or if you cared whether it was the same eye color. I mean, a lot of people don't really care. You can always say, "Oh, yeah, I got some contacts," or "Oh, just this, that, or the other." I mean, not a lot of
Right.
people give a shit. You'll be
Well,
amazed
either
when people actually don't pay attention to eye color. So,
yeah, either option is fine. Whatever's going to be easiest for us to do. If the eye color or if the eye can be done, if we already have that in place, then no sense reinventing the wheel just to create a different concept.
oh, well, I mean, most of that would still be standard. It'd still be the typical because, I mean, the only thing we'd really be changing is your eye color. The eye color if you wanted it. Other than that, everything else is pretty much going to be the same.
Right. So why don't we just go that route rather than
Okay.
try and get complicated?
Yeah, that's the good thing is with the way technology is, and thankfully it's helped quite a bit in operation stuff like that. But the way technology has advanced so much, we are able to do 100 times as much as we used to, even when we thought our technology was pretty state of the art. Um, with all these new doors opening up, it's been quite fun.
Well, I'm certainly prepared to go ahead with that.
Okay. Well, I'd have to set something up. If you prefer it done in the safety of your own home, we can do that. I just have to get a few of my trusted people together, and we basically have to set up an entirely clean room, um, because obviously operations like this, the last thing you need is to get some kind of infection. Um, Now I understand I do work with individuals, and believe me, I am in the know about the world of darkness. So I know that those in that world have a faster healing rate or higher tolerance level, so on and so forth. Still a safety issue, and plus you don't want these cybernetics getting dirty because then they can mess up how they work, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I have this space available, so we can certainly get set up, cleaned, and sterilized. But I understand why you need the additional team around you.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is just not a one-person job. There's no way I can do this by myself.
Oh, that's understandable.
But I've used these people before for some other individuals, and they've been, um, my particular team has been very quiet about things, and I have kept eyes on them. Thankfully, with the amount of pull I have within my company, mainly because I'm one of their top surgeons, I get a bit more leeway and can access the security to kind of keep an eye on people that need. But this team particularly has proven their worth 1,000 times over. I actually feel I'm underpaying them half the time.
Well, it's money's not as much of an object on this one.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then that's all the better, because then I can get you some more of the, then I'll tell you what. Let me first, you see him pull out a little pad and paper. He kind of takes a look at you. He just kind of walks around. Don't mind me. I just have to take some specific things. He pulls out a little measuring tape and kind of sticks it around your head. Okay. You see him write some numbers down. He's looking. He kind of measures your eye just off to the side, so it's not like poking you in the eye. All right. He basically takes a bunch of measurements of your head and your eye. Did you want one eye or both eyes? Now, mind you, both eyes is going to be a little more expensive, but as you said, money's not really an issue.
But both would probably give me better.
Yeah, that's
better quality. So
both would give you a more direct, a much better quality and a more comprehensive unit.
Yeah, let's plan on doing that, especially if we're tying into some cerebral stuff as well.
Mind you, before I do anything, I will give you the layouts of everything, and I will give you this, give you the specs on what exactly we're going to use. So if you prefer using your own unique setup, we can do that. The only thing I require is that everything be completely sterile. When everything has to be perfectly sterile.
Yeah, and I'd prefer to use my own equipment, or at least some heavily modified stuff.
And that's fine. I can probably get you
even if it's just a spec sheet, I can go from there.
Yeah, I can get you the spec sheet for what exactly I'm thinking, and that way it gives you. And we'll set this up for a few days, because there's no way I'm going to be able to do this all in one night. Especially since you want your own specific parts. Most people have just been accepting of.
Well, yeah, I understand, and I get it. It's when I add a complication, it costs more in time and money.
Yeah.
I suspect my specific applications are a little more unique than most people's as well. So
yes and no. We've had a couple close to what you want, but not exactly what you want. There are a few kind of like that. More specifically, most of them have been more military or police organized. I mean, we work with all branches of government, so on and so forth. Due to the DoD contracts we have, we pretty much have access to, government, government official stuff like that for those who want it, or at least they have our information.
I'll kind of gesture the armor on the table and say, well, as you can see, I look to outperform those establishments.
Understood. It will be a little harder because there's a very specific reason why certain, even with, he looks at the armor, even with those particular specs, there's a very particular reason why they're using those particular sets of ingredients, so to speak.
Yeah, and I believe it. We're looking at some. I'm looking at some. I guess you could say some other ingredients that aren't readily available. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's understood, with what you have available, that you can only access certain things.
Well, and there's the other side of that too. As you're aware of the world of darkness, we have resources that just don't exist on public markets.
That's true. So, I mean, I'm not saying your armor won't work. It may just be not as high advanced as the others, but it should still do just fine. I mean, unless you plan on going into the, middle of an ongoing hardcore war, I don't see an issue with needing much more than what you've got. Because from what I saw at your specs, they seem to be pretty accurate, pretty decent.
Yeah, and then by the time I'm done tweaking it, I suspect it'll be even better. So.
But yeah, so I'll head home. I'll start drawing up the specs.
Yeah, if you can get those to me, and then we'll set up a time to do the procedure itself after that.
I mean, if you want something temporary, I could probably get you a pair of sunglasses for now. That will give you a slight advantage.
No, I don't. I mean, again, this is a long-term project, so I'm looking.
Well, I mean, it's just, I mean, if you absolutely wanted it like right now, I could get you a pair of specs. I actually brought a pair of sunglasses with me that are somewhat what I figured you might want. They don't have everything that you're looking for, like the whole tie-in and be able to get all their information, but they do have various visions you can use, so that way, you're in the dark and there's no form of light. There are a couple of visions that we've got assistance on creating from some friends that will help you see like crystal clear in the dead of night. I mean,
right.
No light whatsoever. It can be pitch black in here, and I'd be able to see every detail of your shirt, be able to tell you how many buttons, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I'm looking at those for the long-term application.
I mean, if you wanted to see what it was like, at least for now, you could always wear them. Believe me, the glasses are quite interesting. I understand how you're iffy about, using the company's technology, but I assure you, this, other than giving you the benefit of having multiple visions and maybe some few added tweaks, like it actually does have a little earpiece where you can kind of turn your sunglasses a certain way and focus in on certain conversations that you may not be able to hear due to, say, you're in a crowded place. It's kind of a combination of those. Like I said, this is just temporary, so you can get kind of used to what kind of upgrades you will have on a constant basis. I do usually recommend at least trying them out for a while. If you don't like them, that's fine. Then when we talk again, you can let me know what you didn't like about it, how much of a pain in the ass it was, whatever. Obviously, with the sunglasses, there's a little, switch you're basically going to have to touch to switch between the visions. With the eyeballs, you won't have to worry about that. It'll be all through thought process.
Well, yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt to try them. I'll do that, and we'll move from there.
Yeah, I mean, that way you can get a better idea of what exactly you want. You can even specify. Say you don't want, a big one that I've learned the Kindred like is the more powerful version of what they call blood vision. It does exactly how you think it would sound, and it does exactly what you think it does. It does show every artery and vein in the body. I mean, that's pretty much how it shows out pumps. Yeah, I mean, it's quite useful because no matter what lighting you have, it always shows that. So again, in pure blackness, you can see, figures and stuff. From what I heard, it is a little creepy when you look at other Kindred with it because theirs is a little more unique because they don't have all their organs and stuff running at once. They're sitting down at a bar, they don't need blood flowing to their legs. And it's really weird the way that's set up and kind of funky, but it also shows up a weird color too, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay. He pulls out the sunglasses. He gives you a little case. Inside that case is an earpiece. That earpiece is linked directly to that set of sunglasses, so you don't have to worry about accidentally hitting someone else's frequency or whatever else. They have their own frequency. It does change so that way nobody can, in a sense, tie into what you're listening to. Um,
Well, that certainly applies.
yeah, it's a periodic change. It does it randomly. We've never actually specifically stated um, how random it is. It does it on its own. It's just basically a computer algorithm that just set it up to randomly switch whenever it felt necessary.
All
Um,
right.
you don't have to have the earpiece in at all times if you're only specifying, and um, also hand you a little pamphlet. This is basically a breakdown of everything the sunglasses do. Um, what buttons to hit to listen to certain things, so on and so forth.
Perfect.
And miscellaneous stuff. You'll figure it out. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory.
All right. Well, sounds like a plan, and we'll get in touch. Let me know when you're ready to move forward, when you've got those specs, and I'll get the equipment assembled, send it to you to review, and then we can set up an actual install date.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Have yourself a good evening. Let me know what else you need from me.
No problem. Like I said, give me a few days. Give me maybe about 2 days. I mean, I still have to work, but give me about 2 days to get a decent set of specs to you. If I update them before then, I'll let you know. Um, but I pretty much have a good general knowledge, and since I know you're going to be limited on some of the resources, or I'll just assume that you have certain resources you can access and others you can't. So I'll try and design it where even the most basic, you know, resources that are available, you can still use to work with this stuff. So that way, it's not just, hey, you have to have this particular metal or whatever to work it. I'll have it set up where it can be varied. Um, Mind you, again, the reason why we have certain metals is because they're more conducive to the units and definitely work better. But it's one of those, hey, take what you can get, right? If you only have access to certain things, you can only do so much. So,
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right. Sounds good.
all right,
I'll show him to the door.
okay. He leaves.
I will then. I'm going to get my armor and head out. Jojo had told me about a fairly substantial spirit I need to track down, and that could be useful for enhancing this armor. Um, so I'll take my armor and I'll head to the location he gave me.
Okay. Let's see. For the best one, I had them all planned out and I completely forgot. I knew I should write them down.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. I'm gotten in a habit now of starting to write down every little idea I have, so that way I don't have to sit and do this. Where was it? Oh, it's the site of an old. Um, it's the site of an old National Guard armory.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'll head to that location.
okay.
And when I get there, I'll start with I'll activate my hermetic sight so I can perceive the spirit world.
Okay.
Um, basically.
Oh yeah, this place is active. You can definitely see why they gave this location to you. Holy shit. Um, Obviously there was a lot more violence here than you expected. Um, but you wanted a warrior spirit, and you're can pretty much look and see that some of these will definitely fit that bill.
Okay. Well, perfect. Um, well, if there's more than one, I'm gonna try and assess which one appears to be the most potent,
Let's see. Do you have to roll anything for your spirit sight?
Not for the site, no.
Can you remind me exactly what it does, so that way it gives me a better idea of how you
Allows the thaumaturge to perceive the spirit realm interlaid over the material world. Can gaze into it deeply, or by seeing the presence of nearby spirits as a hazy overlay.
Okay.
So I assume at that point, then regular perception skills and possibly awareness might come into play. If I'm trying to, that would be my assumption. If I'm trying to determine specific information.
Yeah, the more powerful ones would obviously show up. The more powerful ones would obviously show up a bit stronger than others, but there are a lot of them here because there's, if you did your research, this was the site of a few bloody battles, and there have been all kinds of incidences here, and even their security, even the security force that was here has had some setbacks.
All right.
So do perception awareness. We'll say to find a decent one. We'll say difficulty 8.
Does my do those glasses boost my perception?
Yes, they will give you a what is it? Plus, I believe it's a +2 to perception rolls.
All right, difficulty 8, you say?
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
Okay. Well, you catch about 3 or 4 that could fit that qualification. Of ones you're specifically kind of looking for, because you have a general idea what you want. From what you can tell from the images, they look like they are. What the hell? We'll go with. You see 4 of them. 2 of them are sergeants. One is a staff sergeant, which is the next rank above, and the third is a lieutenant.
Okay. I guess I'll look to which one seems to be most active. I mean, they're all powerful, but some of them might be moving around or interacting more.
Mm-hmm. The staff sergeant and one of the sergeants are the 2 most active of the 4. That's all you can really tell.
All right, I will. Well, I'm going to approach the staff sergeant. I have the armor as a prepared vessel. So in order to create it as a fetish, I must command the targeted spirit to enter with an opposed willpower. Target resists with willpower. With the difficulty of its role is my manipulation plus occult.
Okay, so what is your manipulation plus occult?
Manipulation plus occult, so a difficulty of 8.
Jesus, nice.
And it's an opposed willpower, so I roll 10 dice.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to give them a willpower. We'll say 9, just because he's a little stronger. And difficulty 8. Let's see. Takes 1 out of the running right now. And no successes.
And mine's standard difficulty. So takes that one out. Which means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So with 7, I would succeed with flying colors.
Yeah, most definitely, considering he had none.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, congratulations, you just caught yourself one.
Basically, I force it into the armor.
Okay.
With the intent that it will. Basically, the armor functions to soak aggravated.
Okay.
rather than just lethal.
Okay.
So up to, and it would be capable of soaking up to 5 because it's my success level, I can create up to a 5th level fetish.
Okay.
So
we'll say since you succeeded so well and with very few problems, we'll say yeah. So you got it basically soaks up to 5 aggravated. That's a nice little toy to have.
oh yeah, well, when you're a war scourge. So that'll take care of what I came here for.
That was a lot
Get
easier
those
than I
out of the
thought.
way. Well, having the right skills. I mean, had I failed, then we could have gone into a conflict of wills.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Well, I have tools to deliberately strip willpower, but
How's he watching?
all right. Well, I think the only other thing I had to do tonight is I'm going to look to stir some things up a little bit. I'm going to send a text to Guile saying I have some interesting information that this so-called Inquisitor may be cooperating with these Garu and stuff that have been turning up these orphans. But it's sensitive information, and I think it may go deeper than we suspect. So I'll give him the address to one of my secondary safe houses to meet me at. So I think it's best if we meet in a secure location. I don't know if either of us have been compromised.
You understand. He says we'll meet you there.
And then I will get to the address prior to him. And I'll invite him in when he gets there. I'm in my full War Scourge armor.
Okay.
Which I guess we could even pull up. There we are.
You got to admit, the armor looks fucking badass. I just love that picture. That is so fucking badass. Looks like a Star Wars thing.
I think it is. I think it was someone's like custom Sith Lord opinion.
Could be.
It kind of looks like it's in the right style. So
yeah, it definitely has the Sith Lord look to it. So I can only assume that that's got to be someone's version of one.
But I thought it looked perfect, like for power armor for.
Oh, it does fit perfectly.
You know, for what I was going for.
That definitely doesn't look like any Sith Lord I know. Okay. He gets there, looks at your outfit a little curiously, but
I have the mask off. I'll at least have that off, and I'll tell him I was in some compromising situations tonight, trying to get some of this information. I'll invite him in.
Okay.
And then I will, once he gets inside, make sure the door is shut, of course. I'm going to express concern that right now the only intelligence network we have comes through a Shmitzi who's already once a traitor to his own clan. I just kind of want to see how he's going to respond here. You know,
what about it?
Well, supposedly you've turned on your clan and on the Sabbat, and now here we have a Sabbat bishop who's skilled in discretion, stealth, and manipulation, which sounds an awful lot like someone else I know.
You're trying to say I'm the Inquisitor?
Well, I find you to be a likely suspect. I mean, someone in a position of power. I find it odd that you had such good intel on everything else and suddenly nothing.
What do you mean nothing? I gave you as much intel as I had. Believe me, it was not an easy feat.
I am going to activate my sorcerer's version of Quietus 3, Dagon's Call. He rolls intelligence, I roll manipulation, and the difficulty is the other's permanent willpower.
Okay.
So difficulty for him would be 10. I don't know what his permanent willpower is.
10.
I figured it was up there.
Yeah, he's not an easy target.
So I will start with that, and his intelligence versus my... I got one.
Okay, one against. What do you?
He's got to roll his intelligence at a difficulty of 10.
Nice. Well, difficulty 10.
So I see a botch.
You are correct. That is exactly what it is.
So then he would lose 2 points of temporary willpower.
Okay. So he's down to 8.
And I can just continue to bear down on him and hit him with it again.
Okay.
He's down to 8, so I had 1.
Hey, you got 1 success.
Okay, so we break even on it. Which actually, I mean, that's going to be somewhat surprising. I knew he was tough. I didn't know to what extent.
Oh, nice. They finally did the mage 20. Sorry, I'm randomly going off. But I just noticed on RP Subnet, they now have the mage 20th set up. They didn't have it for a while.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they had to wait till it got out.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta access the Tamichi's nasty little fun.
Yeah, I assume he's going to start picking up on it as he feels his willpower start to sap away.
Oh yeah, you just pissed him off.
That's fine.
Congratulations, you just made him mad. Very few people can do this. Let's see. Oh, this is too funny. All right, I need to do a charisma survival, difficulty 6. Let's see, charisma, it's got 7. Survival's got 5. All right, difficulty 6. Three successes. What does he get for 3 successes? This is fun. He calls out in a loud, raven-like voice, more of a caw. He as he looks at you, you hear him, do this strange caw, and then short time later, you hear the flapping of several wings. Um, and actually, you hear breaking glass come from upstairs.
Okay. That's something I'm familiar with, but I guess I have a possible suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
I will activate my Sorcerer's Quietus.
Shit, didn't you already activate that?
No.
Okay. I thought you said you did.
Nope. I had used the 3rd level, which was the one that crushes his willpower. This is the 1st level that actually, so now he can't utter any sounds. Only I can speak.
There you go.
Basically, because I saw that he somehow summoned help verbally. So
That he did. As you do that, you hear the flapping continue. You actually, ironically, you start getting attacked by a few ravens.
okay.
You hear a few more windows break on your actual level, and you have probably about 10 to 15 flying about you, trying to peck at you, distract you. You can't hear anything. Well, you can hear them, but what do you do? In case you're ever curious what he did, specifically what he did was level 2 animalism called beckoning. Um, with 3 successes, he can summon half the animals of what he wanted around him. And they were within earshot. So these are the only ones that responded.
I will
He's not done with you yet.
make his life miserable.
No, he plans on making yours miserable.
I am going to curse him with Uriel's disfavor.
Okay.
Presence of any light makes him uncomfortable, and bright light of any kind, flashlights, headlights, etc., inflict 1 health level of aggravated damage every turn he remains under its focus.
Okay.
And it actually lasts for a week.
Nice.
So we'll start with that.
Do I need to make any rolls?
No, it's just a thaumaturgy curse.
Okay.
I basically utter the curse at him, and he hears it and is affected.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. So, lights. Great.
And he's in my house, so I assume I have lights on. We were talking.
Yeah. Well, you weren't going to let him walk into a dark room. He'd definitely be suspicious at that point.
Now, whether my lights are bright enough to hurt him, probably not, because I assume it's just lamps, but he's uncomfortable.
I was going to say, since it's specified that, like, flashlights, headlights, stuff like that, no, I'm going to say your lamps are not bright enough. Yeah, they do make him a little uncomfortable. He has no choice. He actually backs up and draws his weapons. He may not be able to hear anything, but he can still see you.
Well, he heard me.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can hear you, but he's obviously not hearing the flapping of the ravens that he sees flying around you, just being more of a nuisance because you're in power armor.
Well, almost like I came prepared for this.
Yeah, he's starting to notice that. I'm not going to do initiative. We'll just do back and forth. It's more fun that way.
Really, when it's 2 of us anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's see. He's going to take a random pot shot, mainly because I'm going to say the lights are affecting him a bit, so he's going to be off on it. I'm going to do a -2 to his attacks.
Okay. Yeah, he'd be uncomfortable, so he probably is trying to...
Yeah. Other than that, he's still got a lot of dice, but still -2. And he, ouch. Let's see, 2, 4, 5. That's 6 to hit you.
6 to hit. Okay.
Yeah, because he's got a specialty in firearms.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I'll take it. I'm not going to try and dodge. I have other plans.
Okay. All right. Firearms is. Shit. Let's go look back at it now. It's a pistol. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so strength. So strength. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ouch. You may need new power armor. Or not. Oh my God. But thankfully ones don't count against damage, or else this would have been a really shitty roll.
Yeah.
1. Thankfully 10s don't count as doubles. That's 4. 5 successes. Jesus, you could have done better.
All right. And power
Oh.
armor.
Fair warning, these are Dragon's Breath rounds.
Okay, so
That's
they are
aggravated damage, yes.
okay.
No, he's not stupid. He figures his biggest problem will be vampires, so he always carries those kind of rounds.
And he had what? 5, 6?
5 successes.
Well, I had 5 to soak it.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
So you definitely succeeded. All right, your turn.
I'm sure he's not thrilled with that.
Oh, not at all.
I will. Let's see here. I think I'll take another shot at his willpower at this point.
Okay.
He will have the difficulty 10. I have 2 successes.
Sorry, Joe was asking a question. Apparently he's watching this, but it doesn't show a viewer, which is really weird. All right. This is against the intelligence again?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. Difficulty 10. Oh, guess what? You win again.
All right, so that will take him down.
4 down. Okay.
Yep. So he's down to 6 willpower. Then I assume it will go back to him.
All right. Yep. He's going to take another shot at you. Still with the difficulty because the light's still bothering him. He is backing up, by the way, so he is trying to get to the door. He knows how far he went. He knows how quickly he can get to that door. It's just getting out and hauling ass at the time.
He's going to try and escape through a door in an Assamite hideout.
And well, he didn't go very far. He wasn't stupid. And it's a difficulty 10. Yeah, no successes. But no failures either. So you win again.
For
the willpower.
Okay. Yeah, he's having a bad day, I imagine.
So let's see. Oh no, sorry, that was his attack. Shit.
Yep.
I forgot it was his turn to attack.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, I forgot. Hold on. Oh well, that one wasn't much better. So it's 6, a standard 2, 3. So yeah, 4 on you if you still want to soak it.
4 damage.
4 attack. Are you going to dodge, or are you going to just say fuck it?
Yeah, I'll dodge, which is maybe I'll dodge. I should probably 3 in dex, 1 in athletics, 4 die pool. I've got better soak than I do dodge, so
It happens.
yeah, I'll just take the chance on the
You'll
soak.
take the chance? Okay. Well, remember, your power armors are, I mean, thankfully you lucked out. But remember, well, no, it would still work every round, but you're going to eventually lose that power armor if you keep taking the hits.
Right.
Especially since you know that he's firing rounds at you that cause aggravated damage.
Yeah, that's true. I'll dodge this one. I got his willpower down, so I'll dodge to try and stall him a little bit.
Okay.
So, well, that wasn't successful at all.
All right, well, then you're taking the full brunt of it. Strength +4. Ooh, much better roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for damage.
And that's aggravated, so I soak not much.
Yeah, I was going to say. How much?
2 of them.
Oh, okay, so you just took 4 aggravated. Ouch. That hurt. That set you off.
Yeah, that would put me in an unhappy state.
Well, the good news for him is that you found the door. The bad news is the Dragon's Breath rounds have completely destroyed the barrels. I mean, he had both guns drawn. Both barrels are now useless. Hence the catch with Dragon's Breath rounds. That's why they're not fired often.
And it's my action, correct?
Yeah, it's your action.
But I'm going to make the door look like a less pleasant option.
All right, now anything's better than whatever you're doing to him. He has no idea. He just knows that it's bad.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, he does not like this.
I'm going to activate my Lure of Flames on the door.
Fun. Awesome.
So I roll willpower.
Now I got to do a rots check.
Yeah, so the inside of my door bursts into flame. Which I assume is going to be bright enough light to cause him an aggravated damage.
Correct.
I'm not trying to burn him, but I'm putting it right next to him.
Let's see. Bonfire for rots check would be...
Oh, it's a campfire. Level,
would be
level 3.
That's the closest they have is a bonfire. So
bonfire is the next step up. So
yeah, well, what I have is lighting a cigarette, sight of a torch, which wouldn't really count, and bonfire.
Okay, what's
so it would
bonfire?
Be difficulty 6.
Yeah, I guess probably believable being it's right next to him.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be fun. Let's see. What do I have this character at? Difficulty 6. Oh, look at that. He does not fucking frenzy. That's a good sign. He goes, fire. Damn it. So yeah, now he feels kind of trapped. Now he's really pissed.
Clint asked if he'd prefer to use the back door.
Giles drops his 2 pointless weapons at this point. Pulls out a 2 more handguns from behind him. He had 2 in his holsters and 2 behind him, and he's got more hidden, believe me. Worst case scenario, he'll start stabbing you with this knife he's got, the several knives he has on him. And he's going to fire, let's see. Oh yeah, that's right, he's got difficulty. Actually, it's lessened now. So, good news for you, now that the thing's on fire behind him. Oh, Jesus.
That does seem to dampen things.
Oh my God, he's got 1 success to hit you.
Yeah, I'll just dodge. Thanks.
I mean, these are standard rounds, so that's the only good news.
Well, I I dodge with 1 success.
Okay, you're like, boop. Miss me.
And then I'll stay on his willpower. Yeah, he's got a difficulty 10 intelligence roll, and he's got to beat 4 successes.
4 successes. All right. Difficulty 10?
Yep.
He gets all of 1, so you beat him.
So he takes 3 more, loses 3 more temporary willpower.
See, so he's down to 3. Oh, great, he's getting weak.
Yeah. And I can spend 2 blood around, so I'm going to spend 2 blood to strength.
Okay. All right, let's see. He's going to fire at you again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this time to hit you.
6 to hit? Well, I don't even have a high enough dodge pool, so I'm not going to dodge anyway because I can feel his resolve weakening.
Okay.
And I saw from his whiff last time that this is regular rounds, and that doesn't concern me as much.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jesus, 6 for damage.
Right, and I can soak with stamina as well.
Just remember, you have that 4 aggravated damage, and they're white phosphorus, so they're burning.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So you're both kind of feeling like you're on fire. And with that, by the way, you will be taking 2 points per round. White phosphorus is not a fun one.
Oh, the rounds that are in me already?
Yeah, the original ones. These are just normal rounds that are going to hit
right.
you. So if you block them, you block them. No, shit happens. But for every round, you'll be taking 2. I mean, it's just 2, but it's 2 every round that can do enough damage.
Yep. So I soak 4 of his lethal.
All right, you had 6, so that's 2 lethal. So you got 4 ag, 2 lethal. Jesus. This may come down to y'all just basically like slapping each other.
Oh, that should bring it back to me.
Yep, you're done.
And I can spend blood to heal.
Which will heal your lethal.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he can't do nothing to heal willpower.
Nope, and that's what we're going to do is bear down on his willpower because he's down to 3. So I got 4, all kinds of successes. 5 successes.
5 successes.
So his difficulty is still 10 for my willpower, and it's an intelligence roll.
Yep. And he got none.
Okay, so he's out of willpower, so he shouldn't be able to act.
Nope. Yeah, you see, just literally basically, because if I recall correctly, I believe with their willpower.
I think you basically just flop and go limp.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. He didn't find this correct. Willpower. That's all regaining. That's derangements. I'm pretty sure all he does is flop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, pretty much doesn't say. Eventually, the character will have no willpower left and will no longer be able to exert the effort he once could. A character with no willpower pool is exhausted mentally, physically, and spiritually, and will have great difficulty doing anything, as you can no longer muster the energy you take. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, he's basically just a lump on the floor.
And I'm going to then walk over and begin draining him.
Okay.
So it's extended strength. And since I have a feeling I'm about to get plenty of blood, I'll spend a little more blood to raise that too.
Okay.
Strength isn't my strongest suit yet, but... Oh, fuck.
What gen is he?
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Roderick is at the top of this 9th.
Okay. Oh, you're going to get a bonus.
One round.
Oh, because you don't know what you just did.
Nope, I don't.
You're about to find out.
Alright. So 1 round in, and it's 1 aggravate per round. I don't think he had any damage.
No, he didn't have any.
Well, he might have had 1 from the being next to the fire with his curse of bright lightness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing.
Extended. It's my house, so I can be here all night. Spend some more blood. Next round. Because one of these days we can... What's that?
What's your humanity at?
I follow the path of Cain.
Oh, then you don't give a shit.
Yep. No. That's that whole Book of Nod and...
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
2 sides to everything. And
yeah. So I just wanted to make sure. I found it was pretty much, yeah.
And actually, since this isn't going as fast as Roderick would like, and he doesn't think Giles is quite terrified enough yet, I'm going to stop and I will take out a holy symbol of Cain, and I will press it into his flesh. And I have, with the mark of Cain, I have true faith in Cain.
Oh, nice.
So he will take an aggravated damage as the mark of Cain brands him.
Nice.
Then I'll go back to what I was working on. And apparently I'm going to just decide to do it all in one shot here. Because I did 3, so that should be a...
Okay.
Extended. I gotta imagine I'm getting close at this point.
Yeah.
Break even. There's 2 more. Nothing. One more. So I've had 5 rounds of dealing aggravated here. Plus I have had 2 aggravated I dealt through damage. So that should pretty much empty his health levels.
29. He was, oh, Jesus Christ.
Does Roderick say that? Or does Giles say that? Because I could imagine.
No. Oh, his last words are cursing you something. Fierce.
2 more successes on this roll. It's 1 automatic aggravated each round, so I gotta imagine I'm getting close.
Yeah, we'll just cut it down. Yeah, you get him.
So consume his essence.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at. Congratulations, you just went up 2 generation spots. You're now a 7th gen. FYI, Giles was a 4th gen vampire.
I don't know if you do access for disciplines or anything for Diablo or anything.
Yes, I do. He specifically had, aside from the typical Shinichi ones, so we had animalism, awesomeness, and vicissitude. He also had, what was the other one? I know I had a whole story behind him. A fun one. One most people almost never see. Here's the additional, one of the additional, just I figured that might give you a little something to read for a minute. Because he's been a busy little.
I see that.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe you. You are going to be a pain in my ass, aren't you?
Me or?
No, the RP subnet. So if you don't have animalism, aspects, and vicissitude, add a dot in those. Those two disciplines I just linked to you, add a dot in those.
So the first one I gotta flip over to messages. The second one.
There is one more, and this will tell you how fucked up he is. This one, there's only one bloodline that ever had it.
God damn it.
Oh, and Holly's pissed off at you, just in case you didn't.
Oh, is she yelling at me in the other chat?
No, because one of her goals was to take out Giles. I thought she'd have a different opinion, but apparently she's not too happy. So, that should be fun. Oh yeah, Joey's a little pissed at you too.
Oh, that's fine. I like how they all assume that they know I did it.
Oh well, technically their characters won't know jacket shit. The players themselves, however, know, and they're a little pissed.
That's okay. All right, well, I don't think there's much else. I guess I have to maybe vacuum the rug.
Yeah, as soon as he died, by the way, the ravens just kind of
dispersed,
looked confused, and then dispersed. Thankfully, JoJo wasn't one of them. That would have been a very nasty combination. JoJo going into straight war form. Oh yeah, that's a scary thought.
Well, I don't see him responding to level 2 animalism either.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it would have taken a lot stronger call than that for him to be affected. He may have been curious and went to go find out because he saw all of his brothers.
Right. Well, I want to make sure, because I don't know, I assume his possessions are left behind.
Yeah. He immediately, as soon as you finished him, ashed. Naturally, their clothing doesn't ash. I don't know why in the movies it always shows that their clothing should ash. It doesn't.
Yeah. So, well, for one thing, I assume he had a phone on him.
Yes.
And so I'm going to take that and basically clone all the information off of it onto my system. So I have all his contacts, any messages or pictures or anything that might be on there.
Okay. And no pictures, actually. He didn't have any pictures.
No, I imagine he didn't, but there might be some other contacts I would find interesting.
Yes.
So I'll dig through those a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah.
But
later on what he had.
I will Then I'm going to send his phone a message asking where he is.
Okay.
I'll wait a few minutes, send him another one.
And you got all three of the you need this ones, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Then after a few minutes, I'll send him another one saying, "Where are you? Is everything all right?" Then I'll wait. I'll probably wait, an hour or so. And then I will at that point I'll probably destroy the phone and his clothes and stuff, because I know what Auspex is capable of. You look far enough back with Auspex and it can be pretty obvious things that happen around items. I don't need someone looking back at his phone with Auspex and going, "Oh, look at that."
Yeah, as Joey just pointed out in group chat, remember, Geo has Auspex. Yeah.
I actually didn't even see that.
Yeah. Well, Joey, you got to remember, this is Roderick. He's an Assamite. They're not stupid. They know how people work. You have it on your soul. Well, that's true. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hide that.
He has hidden Diablerie as a merit creation.
So he can hide it. That makes it all the better. I'm loving this. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at. Because I'm having too much enjoyment over this.
Oh yeah, this wasn't something he undertook lightly.
I'm going to get all kinds of shit for this later. Just so you know.
I don't think there's anything else he'd have to deal with tonight specifically. I assume I have most of the Primogen's contacts, if not, well, I assume I have all of them. I'm the Scourge.
Yes, you have all of them.
I'm going to send a warning to all of them, but I'm going to neglect Monica by mistake and warn the rest of the Primogen that they should beware, as the fairly influential kindred Giles appears to be missing. I can't reach him. He hasn't responded to any cell contact, and he didn't show up for a scheduled meeting. And I think that's pretty much going to take care of everything for Roderick at this point. At least on that front.
Joey, you don't have the power to find out.
I'm going to get in touch. I'm going to get in touch with Amelia and see if she's had any success, or if she's still looking for candidates. See, I've got a couple of candidates I'd like to discuss with her that might be good, make good venture.
Okay.
So, see if she's available for a meeting.
Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Yeah. Gio would immediately know when Giles is dead.
Well,
Gio's the only one who would.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that. Yeah, she's got it on her sheet. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Well, Roderick wouldn't know anything about that.
No, you don't. I don't think you get access to the memories. I think It's just, I think unless you specifically use a pump for your ritual, you don't have access to that. But let me make sure, just make sure. You can lower your generation, blah, 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 whichever you did. You get a larger, more potent blood pool, so now you can officially actually go up to a 7th generation blood pool, which I think is 6, 7. I mean, you probably already have the 9 dot sheet anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah. I think memories is a gray area. They never specifically spell it out, but they do talk about how it can happen. And then really a canon example is Salat with Shamir. So I guess.
Increase. Now remember, those the disciplines you get, those bonus disciplines you have, are only temporary until you learn about them.
Right.
So if you don't learn about them, in a sense, you won't get them. But I'm going to say they're just a permanent thing, because that's what I've been doing with everybody. Anybody who diablerizes gets, they do it to the right gen, they get it.
Yeah, and I know there's, actually, I know there's been a lot of house rulings out there too to discuss some of that. Yeah,
I mean, it really, that mainly goes.
Well, because I think they even say in there, if you, something about if you diablerize, bring the vitae of, where was it? If a victim was of far greater power, 5 or more generations.
Yeah, I was reading that. That's why I gave you 2.
Yeah, so really you could include anything. Anything could fall under that category.
Yeah. And that's why I just said fuck it. I mean, that's why I usually.
What happens when you diablerize a 4th generation? Well, there's not really rules for that.
Most people don't try it.
Yeah. Much less succeed.
Yeah. So usually if they try it, they're the ones dying.
Right.
You just happen to catch him off guard. He wasn't expecting it. Once you started pounding him, by then it was already kind of too late for him.
Well,
he did fight back.
Yeah, that he did. I'll give him that.
Because you still got 4 aggravated damage that's going to take forever to heal.
Well, 4 nights.
Yeah. It still hurts.
Yep, sure does.
And the fun thing about white phosphorus is you have to pull it out. You can't put water or anything on it like most normal people would, because you'll just make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, which I assume would have been the first thing I did.
Yeah. You know enough about white. I'm going to assume your character has enough idea about white phosphorus to know that that's not something you want in you. Now, maybe other people are getting impatient because they want to do their team. But yeah, Amelia says she'll meet you. Are you going to try and corrupt her then, or just basically right now try and find out where she stands?
Yeah, I just want to find out where she stands a little bit. I am going to additionally give her the name of some of the higher-ups for my publishing company that I work for.
Okay.
That they might make good venture. They're used to making deals and handling numbers. And I'll tell her, just so you're aware, because I don't know if it's been passed around yet, but we do have some rather capable kindred missing in the city, and it seems this Inquisitor and his Sabbat pack may be stepping up their activity.
Oh, joy, what fun.
I'll ask if she's had any experience dealing with them.
With the Sabbat in general? No.
Well, just in general with the conflict, if that's having any effect on you, that I need to. You have the mortal. You see the mortal side of things more than the rest of us, so I want to be aware if any of it's bleeding over.
I haven't really seen any mortal effect yet, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It may just be a little bit better hidden, or the other clans are doing a better job at keeping it hush hush. But I have no doubts that if they're stepping up their game, we may end up getting some fallout from it.
Fair point.
I'll keep an eye out and let you know if I hear anything.
That would be excellent. I'll wait. Assume she's going to leave, or I'll leave. One of the whoever leaves
She'll
first.
Yeah, she'll leave. We'll say that.
Is she with anyone?
Yeah, her guards. I mean, she was already
Right.
iffy because of the whole Inquisitor crazy.
So I'll just kind of follow her trail using my ritual and stuff at a distance.
Okay. She goes back to the Venture compound.
Okay.
Where there's a ton of security.
Yep.
Because they're paranoid.
And that's fine. I'll just make it look like I'm out on a patrol. Kind of, I drive past and I'm keeping my eyes open.
Gotcha.
Nonchalant.
All right. Yeah, even with your skills and your abilities, this is probably not a good time to attempt anything crazy because you're still hurt.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't get into it anyway. It was more of build the relationship with her first.
Gotcha. All right,
Well,
but yeah,
I think that'll do it. I'll head home and start resting.
All right, that works. All right, and with that, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned, and see you later.